The second week of March 2026 has been defined by a pivot from AI experimentation to industrial scale execution. We've seen the rise of agentic ecosystems, a major hardware push for edge computing, and a sobering reality check regarding the workforce as companies restructure to accommodate automated intelligence. Here's the breakdown of top AI news stories for March 4 to March 10, 2026. First off, Microsoft launches Frontier Suite. So what some would say is the most significant enterprise announcement of the year. Microsoft announced the availability of its Frontier Suite. The new tier, aka M365 E7, marks the beginning of the agentic era for the company. Everyone says that, but this time Microsoft really means it. Key features include Agent 365, which is a unified control for managing agentic sprawl, essentially a manager for your automated AI agents. Its mainline chat now supports Anthropic's Claude alongside next-gen OpenAI models, so shifting towards a more multimodal ecosystem. We see last time Microsoft tried not to do that, but this time perhaps they're going to learn from their past mistakes. It also includes Work IQ, which is apparently an intelligence layer that personalizes AI responses based on specific organizational context. Yeah, in other words, it reads your mind first and then tells you what you want to hear. As someone at Microsoft said, the goal is to move from AI as a chatbot to AI as a colleague. Not sure who said that. It was probably the bot. Intel and ASUS made some big announcements at the Embedded World 2026 conference in Nuremberg as the conference's big hardware announcements. So Intel launched the Core Series 2 processors specifically designed for mission-critical applications like real-time healthcare monitoring and industrial robotics. ASUS IoT showcased a new lineup of industrial edge servers that process data locally, reducing the need for cloud-based AI infrastructure and significantly lowering latency for smart city infrastructure. So last week I mentioned the billions and billions and billions that were being poured into server farms and other AI infrastructure, including nuclear power. There was that too. So will all that be necessary? I'll have a special report on this when AI Weekly News is 10 years old. Remind me. On March 10, Sony Honda Mobility shared a deep dive into the AI powering its AFEELA autonomous driving system. The update focused on AI-based trajectory inference, which uses machine learning to decide a vehicle's path in complex traffic scenarios. So by integrating MLOps, or as they say, machine learning operations, they claim to have reduced the time required to train and evaluate new driving models by as much as 90%. And in case you're wondering what AFEELA stands for, it's got feel at the center, surrounded by two A's, and that's all really. I didn't use AI for that one. At Enterprise Connect 2026, Zoom announced a total pivot for its contact center business. Moving away from the average handle time as a metric, Zoom introduced the resolution economy. Their new AI Expert Assist 3.0 doesn't just suggest replies, it orchestrates entire workflows, updating records, triggering follow-ups and documentation, and get this, allowing human agents to focus entirely on empathy and complex problem solving. So my next question is, and I'd like to see how Assist 3.0 handles this, will my boss pay me for empathy and complex problem solving? More on that later, actually. So a few quick ones. Cloudflare announced the general availability of AI security for apps, a suite used to protect LLMs from prompt injections and data leaks. Deloitte's State of AI 2026 report was released, showing that while AI adoption is up 50% year over year, only 34% of companies have actually reimagined their business models around the technology. But 34% is actually, seeing how AI has been commonplace only for a year or two, I guess that's not too surprising they get around to it. Next year, though, we hope that number will be much higher, maybe. Meta and LLNL co-developed a massive polymer chemistry data set to train AI models for discovery of new materials, potentially accelerating drug development. And good for them. And now finally for the slide we've all been waiting for, almost as much as we're waiting for the last slide. We talk about AI layoffs. This week, Block and WiseTech. On March 9, Block, which is formerly Square but in 3D, announced 4,000 layoffs, roughly 40% of its workforce, citing AI-driven efficiency gains that allow smaller teams to handle larger workloads. Similarly, WiseTech Global announced 2,000 cuts as they restructure their engineering departments around generative AI and LLMs to, wait for it, supercharge productivity. Industry analysts estimate that of the 45,000 tech layoffs recorded so far only in March, nearly 20% are directly attributed to AI automation. So that's all for today. If you know any companies trying to hire a guy who likes talking about AI news, I might know someone. All the best on your AI journey and have a great day ahead.